Hi, I'm Joe Walensky, and I'm the program manager for ConveyUX, and that's been Seattle's annual user experience conference for the past 7 years. It's produced by Blink, and we're going into our 8th year, so the conference is going to be March 3rd, 4th, and 5th in downtown Seattle. We're excited about that, and I get a chance to talk to all of our many speakers, and today I am talking to Erin Newby. Hello, Erin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Joe?
That's really good to have you in the program. I'll be talking to you today, and usually I'm talking from our Blink Seattle headquarters office. Today I'm out and about. Where are you talking to us from?
I'm from New York City. I am in Lower Manhattan right now. Specifically, I'm sitting at work.
All right. Good. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about work, your background, that type of thing.
Okay, so I guess I have been designing for quite a few years now. Roughly around 8 or 9 years. I started off in advertising and I made the transition into a product designer about 4 years ago when I sort of realized the value of human-centered design. Since then, I've worked in a lot of different industries. I've had the most experience in fintech because I currently was at NASDAQ for the past 3 years exploring that space. And I'm currently exploring telecommunications at Verizon, where I specifically work on the rewards program within their mobile app.
And so what are some of the things that typically make up the days at work? Are there any certain patterns or activities that you regularly get involved in?
Yeah, there's quite a few. I guess there's a lot of, on a high level, there's a lot of brainstorming. We have a pretty tight process here. So we work really closely with research because they do a lot of our user testing and gather a lot of our insights. We also do a lot of whiteboarding, generally partner up with like my design colleagues to just go over a lot of different concepts and just explore a lot of different solutions for a lot of the problems that we're trying to solve.
Was there anything new and exciting going on, or things that have your interest in addition to your regular design work?
Yeah, so outside of work, I try to remain active within the design community in terms of writing and public speaking. I'm also volunteering at an accessibility nonprofit currently because that's something I'm extremely passionate about. But I try to explore topics within the design community around diversity and inclusion and then accessibility, just because those are really close to my heart for a lot of different reasons. So,
I'm in addition to doing the program managing work for ConveyUX, I'm the accessibility director at Blink, so that's something that's an important area for me as well. What are some of the activities that you get involved in your community service related to accessibility?
Right now, it's very interesting. I do a lot of, with the nonprofit that I work with currently, I do a lot of their marketing materials just to help them out, like in terms of outreach. And then I also help them get connected with companies to bring in people with disabilities so they can user test their products with, so they can have that broader group to be able to, test their solutions with. Just because a lot of companies, they don't have that in-house and they don't necessarily know how to bring that in-house. So I try to do outreach in that way as well. So I've connected a few companies with the nonprofit that I work with to be able to connect that user group with some of the solutions that they're trying to test.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your session. That's going to be one of the ones that we feature as having a high level of discussion involved in it. Your topic title is Unmasking Imposter Syndrome as a Minority. So tell us a little bit about how you came around to that and what you'll be presenting to us.
Okay, so I mentioned earlier that I've been designing for quite a few years. I started off in advertising, but as I was making the transition into product design, a lot of that was self-taught, so I didn't have formal training in that. So That in combination of being a minority, a woman of color, and then also living with a disability, there's a lot of self-doubt that came along with that, just because a lot of my peers come from an extremely different background, have formal training in product design. So just over the course of my career, I've seen how that has helped me back in a way, but I saw that it was definitely something that, although I was qualified for the work that I was working on, I did bring a lot of perspective to the companies that I was working with. That all of that within myself, that imposter syndrome, really held me back from like different opportunities and like sharing my ideas at certain points, just because I felt like I didn't fit in. And I just think that this workshop is going to be very valuable for people that are, number one, within that position, just to show them different ways to break out of that. And then also for people that are not in that position, just to give them more, just to build awareness around that exists, and like just show them a different perspective that someone that they could be working alongside, has, or different experiences that they've experienced. So.
And we really appreciate you coming to the front of the room for something like this and talking about your challenges and expressing that. And I know this session isn't necessarily set up as there's any specific solutions, but rather for you to talk about your story and then open it up for discussions from other people that may have the same challenges or be interested in understanding how to best work with colleagues.
Yeah, which is very important, because I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of other people like that they're working with, their colleagues, their peers that may not come from a specific background that I come from, but they have their own unique challenges that need to be brought to the forefront as well. So just creating a conversation to like get these out in the open, so we can just build a community where people are comfortable and also just expressing their particular needs.
Well, I think it's going to be a great contribution to our program, and we look forward to having you here when you make your journey from New York City. And also, thanks for taking the time to talk with me today.
Yeah, thank you for talking with me as well. I'm excited.